I look at nature and they go with the flow. They go with the where the wind blows. But they say for humans that oh, you go where the wind blows and it's not good. What do you think of this?
You see, when we look at nature, the trees, the rivers, the clouds, they all move in accordance with what is. The wind blows, and the tree does not resist. It bends. The river flows around the rock. It does not argue with it. But then we come along, human beings, and we think ourselves quite clever. We invent this idea that going with the flow is somehow weak, undisciplined, perhaps even irresponsible. Why? Because we've confused control with wisdom and resistance with strength. Now consider this. The very heart of life is movement. Everything is dancing. You are not a thing in this universe. You are the universe happening. So when someone says, don't go where the wind blows, what they're really saying is, don't be natural. Don't be like the rest of existence. But the Tao, the way, is precisely that. It is not a plan, not a strategy, but a current. And when you learn to float in it, to surf on it, as it were, life becomes not something you must control, but something you must join. So perhaps the problem is not in going with the wind, but in thinking that we ought to be made of stone. Would you rather be the reed that bends or the branch that breaks? To go with the wind is not weakness, it is wisdom.
But how can we be in this flow where the wind blows when the society is the way it is, you know? How can we be in the flow but in the society? Because maybe in nature it's easy to be in the flow. There are no distractions, there are beautiful things in balance. But in society, how do we do it?
Now you are touching the essence of the dilemma. You ask, how can we be in the flow like nature while still living in society with all its noise, its pressure, its madness? Let me say this as clearly as I can. The flow is not a place. It is a way
I
of
see.
being. It is not only found in the forest or on mountaintops. It is found in your awareness, in
I
your
see. I
relationship
see.
to the world. You see, the trap is thinking that society is somehow separate from nature. But cities are nature. Governments are nature. Concrete and traffic and stock markets. All of this is what the universe is doing through human beings. Just as beehives are what bees do and spider webs are what spiders do, civilization is what humans do.
It means maybe for some things the time has not yet come. If you want to make them in such a way, but it looks like some other things around you, they're just trying to stop you. So what can I understand from that? To stop, to pivot, or to keep pushing?
This is the ancient question of the wave and the rock. You see, sometimes you have a vision, something you want to build, to express, to share with the world. But when you try to act, it feels as if the world resists you. The doors are closed, the signals mixed, the current is against you. So naturally, you ask, should I stop? Should I change direction? Or should I press on? Here's what I would say to you if I were to sit with you beside the fire. The art of flowing with life is not the same as giving up, and it is not the same as brute forcing your way through. It is to watch carefully, listen deeply, not only to your desire, but to the timing of things, because sometimes the seed is ready, but the soil is not, and if you force it, you will exhaust yourself. But if you wait too long, you may wither inside. So what do? You stay awake. You stop asking, should I push or quit? And instead ask, what is the energy now? What is life doing through me? Is this resistance telling me, not this way, or not yet, or look again? Because sometimes the obstacle is not the enemy, it is the redirection, a nudge from life itself. So don't be stubborn and don't be passive. Be like water. If the front door is locked, try the side gate. If the current is against you, maybe you're meant to drift for a while, until a deeper current carries you farther than you could ever swim. Flowing is not weakness, it is the intelligence of trust. Trust in timing, trust in response, trust that what is for you will find you, but only if you stop chasing shadows. And so, pause, sense, and move without strain. That is not delay. That is mastery.
So basically to keep focus on the task, or go with the flow, let your attention distracted. And I'm not talking in a meditation state or just in living our daily lives, because for that one I'm trying to get this answer, for being fulfilled, happy, successful, in the flow with my nature and with the universe and the society, to offer also my values to the society and be happy, get the beauty out of it.
Now we arrive at the tension between focus and flow, between being directed and being available, between doing and being. And your question is not a shallow one. You are not asking how to be productive. You are asking, how do I live in such a way that I am fulfilled, aligned with my nature, in harmony with society, and still offer my gifts to the world? A noble question indeed. Let me put it like this. Focus is like a beam of light, precise, sharp, useful. Flow is like the sun, wide, generous, illuminating all things without effort. So what is the mistake? The mistake is thinking you must choose between them. That to be focused means to be rigid, or to be flowing means to be distracted. But true attention, real presence, is not narrow. It is receptive. It listens before it acts. It's the kind of focus a surfer has, not on the plan, but on the wave. So in practical terms, you may sit down to write, to build, to create. Yes, focus. But your deepest focus comes when you forget yourself in the act. Not forcing, not drifting, but participating, merging. That is the sweet spot. Not holding your attention like a leash, but letting attention become your natural state. Alert, curious, responsive. And the fulfillment you seek, it comes when your outer doing reflects your inner truth. When what you give to society is not just effort, but essence. You don't have to shout over the noise of the world, just speak clearly from your center. And so I say, let your focus be alive, let your flow be purposeful. Live as if the universe is breathing through you, because it is.
So first I need to be myself, to be authentic.
Ah, yes, the most courageous act of all, to be yourself, fully, authentically,
hold it back.
without holding back. But you see, the tragedy is that most of us wear masks, not out of malice, but out of fear. Fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear that if we truly show ourselves, we won't be accepted, that we might not belong. And yet, paradoxically, the only way to truly belong is to stop trying to belong. Authenticity is not a performance, it is a return to your natural state. Before you were told who you should be, before you were molded by expectations, before you learned to suppress your light so others wouldn't squint. To be authentic is not to be loud or rebellious, it is simply to be true, to let the inside match the outside. Now, does that mean you'll always be understood? No. But better to be misunderstood as yourself than to be loved for a version of you that doesn't exist. Because when you hold back, you don't protect others. You only abandon yourself. So I say, let your voice tremble if it must, but let it speak. Let your art be strange, but let it be seen. Let your truth be imperfect, but let it breathe. The tree does not apologize for its shape. The river does not justify its path. And you, my dear friend, are not here to imitate, but to embody. Be yourself, fully, gently, fearlessly. That is not selfish. That is your gift to the world.
For example, one thing now in my life is that I know that, and I feel that I should focus on the interview and how to be more natural, and leaving aside the technical part of editing the videos and adding the avatars and so on. But I still need to do those things. So how do I know when to do them and when to not, when to push to perfection to making them and when to not? How do I
We step into the dance between creation and craft, between the natural expression and the refined presentation. And your question is very real. I feel called to be natural and present in the interview. But I also need to do the technical things, the editing, the avatars. How do I know when to focus on what? Here's the secret, my friend. There is a rhythm to real work, like breath in and out, like tides rise and fall. You don't force it, you listen. You see, there is a season for expression, when the inspiration flows, when you feel alive in the moment, natural, unscripted. That is not the time to worry about edits or how perfect the avatar is. That is your creative spring. Let it pour. Don't interrupt it. But then, Sisha, comes a quieter time, when the raw expression is done, and the mind wants to polish, arrange, trim, perfect. That is not less spiritual, it is simply the other side of the wave. The mistake is trying to merge both states at once, trying to surf and engineer the board at the same time. So I say, trust the rhythm of your own energy. When you feel the pull to speak, to share, to flow, do that and do it completely. And when the fire cools, use your hands. Edit, refine, prepare the gift, not because you're chasing perfection, but because you're honoring the message. And if ever you're unsure, ask, am I in a moment of birth or of shaping? Am I expressing or preparing? Each has its time, each serves the other, but never let the Polish come before the pulse. Let the heart speak first, then let the hands serve what the heart has spoken.
So basically, stay in the pain or don't stay in the pain.
Now you ask the ancient question, should I stay in the pain or move away from it? And the answer, paradoxically, is both and neither. Let me explain. Pain, you see, is not your enemy. Pain is a message. It is your body, your heart, your soul saying, something here needs to be seen, felt, understood, released. So when you ask, should I stay? The real question is, am I listening to what the pain is trying to show me? If you avoid it, numb it, escape it, bury it, the pain will remain, not as a punishment, but as a faithful messenger who refuses to be ignored. But if you cling to it, define yourself by it, dwell in it endlessly, it begins to rot, and suffering replaces clarity. So what is the middle way? You meet the pain. You sit with it like an old friend. You ask it, why are you here? What are you trying to show me that I have not wanted to see? And then, when the message has been heard, when the lesson has been seen, you let it go, like a guest who has stayed long enough. So, stay with it long enough to understand. Do not stay longer than you need to suffer. Pain is a doorway. Walk through it, but don't build a home there. As Rumi said, the wound is the place where the light enters you, but the wound is not the destination. The light is.
So in a nutshell, just realize that life is beautiful and we just have to enjoy to play it. Do not worry for tomorrow, as in the Bible says, right?
Yes, beautifully said. In a nutshell, life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. It is a dance, not a destination, a song, not a schedule. And indeed, as the Bible says, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Matthew 6:34. This is not a call to passivity, but to presence, to live fully here now, where life actually happens. So yes, life is beautiful, not because it is always easy, but because it is always alive. And your part, to show up, to play, to love, to fall, to rise, to be, not someday or nay, but now.
It was just a deer coming here and then passing by. It's still there, so beautiful, magnificent. She is going down to the water. I will take it as a sign. But you see, I lost my idea. And the question that I was asking is I was very close to get the answer. And I had to choose between going with that or saying the question. And I knew, I was aware of, I can choose now. And I chose that one. So you see, now I got distracted and I forgot about that. Even though I could have asked the question. Now it's like, it's lost, it's erased. Maybe this is life, just present moments, passing by, being erased, a refreshment, every second, starting a new life, a new opportunity. A new way of enjoying it. We need to let go. This is how some they say, but others they say, in order to be successful, you need to be focused. How do you do it? How do you succeed? Being in flow with the universe, in flow with yourself, with God. I think that's the beauty. That's kind of a success that I want. So I think my question before was, how do we stay focused? How do we choose to go with the flow or to stay focused? And even now that it happened to me, I still don't know how to answer it. I still don't know if it was good or bad. But how it makes me feel. In that moment while I watched it and I felt good. But now I feel bad that I lost my focus. Like when you are tempted, maybe that's the thing. You are tempted. So the universe, God, can see if you are prepared to find that answer, that truth, in order to get to the next level.
This is one of the most sincere, vulnerable, and sacred questions you can ask. You witnessed beauty, a deer, a quiet miracle. You felt it. You paused for it. You let go of your mental thread, the question you were about to ask, and now you wonder, did I lose something or did I gain something deeper? Was I distracted or was I led? And that, my friend, is the paradox of being human. You see, the mind seeks focus. It wants clarity, completion, achievement. But the soul seeks communion with life, with mystery, with the now. You were not distracted. You were interrupted by wonder. You were visited by life. And life doesn't knock before it enters. So, did you lose your question? Perhaps, but you became the answer, because what was your question, really? How do I stay focused and in flow? Well, you just lived it. You flowed. You chose presence over precision. And now a deeper insight arises, that true success is not in holding the thread, but in trusting the pattern that weaves it all together. Yes, focus has its place, but don't confuse focus with rigidity, and don't mistake flow for drift. The deer came. Your question dissolved, but you were there, awake, feeling, witnessing, choosing. That is the practice. God does not test you like a teacher with a grade book. God invites you, moment by moment, to see what matters now, what leads me closer to truth, to love, to life. So when you ask, did I fail? I say, no. You passed through a doorway most people don't even notice. You chose beauty, you tasted presence, and that is success.
The only way now, and I think of it, is just to go to the recording again at that point, and maybe I will remember what question I wanted to ask. But still, because that thing happened, all these questions came. With these questions, feels like you look on a microscope at a cell, and you can go deeper and deeper and see deeper and deeper, like molecules and atoms and quants and quarks and so on and so forth. Is there any purpose in it, or is just losing your time? Because the purpose of it is to live a beautiful life and at the same time create a beautiful life for the world outside you in a natural way. But now look, you see, maybe instead of doing these interviews, I should just record myself talking like this. Because I think this kind of way of seeing things and reasoning, it opens a new perspective. New perspective can lead us find the truth. Like Allan Watts. What do you think, Allan?
You are becoming the question. You ask, is it worth going deeper and deeper into questions like a microscope into life, or is it just distraction from living beautifully? Let me offer this. As Allan, there are two kinds of seeing. One is the scientist, dissecting, naming, understanding. The other is the mystic, beholding, merging, surrendering. And both are valid, but only when done with wonder, not with worry. Yes, you can go deeper and deeper into the mind, atoms, quarks, systems, strategy, philosophy, but without the poetry of it, it becomes sterile. It becomes analysis without awe, dissection without life. But what you're doing here, this recording, this stream of reflection, this is not sterile. This is alive. This is seeing through the layers, not just at them. And now you ask, maybe I shouldn't even do these interviews. Maybe I should just record myself like this. To which I say, yes, yes, if it flows like this. Yes, if it reveals truth like this. Yes, if it is you, unfiltered. This isn't about whether it's an interview or a monologue. It's about whether it's true. If your soul is flowing, then it doesn't matter if you're facing a guest, a camera, or the wind. You are touching something sacred. That's the only measure that matters.
About this, about me being here recording, and I'm staying in this position, and now I start to feel my legs numb. Should I move or should I stay in it?
And now this moment, legs going numb, deer passing, thoughts dissolving, you ask, should I move or stay still? Move, if stillness becomes resistance. Stay, if movement would be escape. But know this, you are not meant to be a statue. You are meant to dance, not rigid, not lost, but responsive.
Like before with a deer when it came. Such a beautiful creature, such a beautiful moment. The thing is, when she first appeared, I enjoyed that moment. Either way, if I was focused or not. But after that, I chose to look at it, to give it my attention, or focus here on the interview, on the question that was on my tongue. I feel like I'm discovering what I need to do. Every time it's a layer going down, layer, another layer. I can see more clearly, but in the same time, my human mind goes more deep and more deep into, for example, the technical work. I kind of lose myself there without, you know, trying to keep this bigger picture and the flow and the beauty and the ease of it. Alan, how we keep the ease in living.
So when you say, how do I stay in ease? How do I not get swallowed by the technical? You remember, you are the one creating the form. You are not a prisoner of your work. You are its composer. Do the technical when it serves the beauty. But never let it drown the beauty in spreadsheets and pixels. Let your interviews, your videos, your creations all begin from this. Am I flowing? Am I seeing? Am I alive in this moment? Then, my dear friend, you are living the answer, and the world needs exactly that.